In front of the powerful giant beast, even the steel giant is vulnerable. Let alone humans, what would they be like in front of even higher level monsters? Men are completely powerless against the suction force of the abyssal giant's mouth. Come the male and female protagonists escape and survive. Having lost a comrade, where should they go from here? Let's first outline the storyline of the entire movie. One plotline is set around 1954, when Godzilla first appeared in the public's view. At that time, the military established the Monarch Organization to guard against the appearance of monsters worldwide. The other plotline is set after 2013, when several young people, led by David, encounter various monsters while searching for Professor Bernie, Tracy, and Tammy's father. Next, let's start with the storyline from around 1954. David and the two doctors discover the existence of monsters and seek military funding to continue their exploration and research. General Bill, at that time, attaches great importance to this matter, so he visits the three of them with his subordinates. General Bill needs a compelling reason from them. David and the others present a giant footprint to General Bill, which was found in a muddy area in Indonesia. What is strange is that such a huge Bigfoot has disappeared since then. General Bill is greatly shocked. Dr. Andrew hopes to use radioactive materials to lure the creature out. Tracy explains to General Bill that they discovered several abnormal radiation belts in the thermocline, which are directly related to the appearance of the giant creature. After the giant creature disappears, the radiation levels in that area suddenly decrease as well. Tracy speculates that the radiation might have been absorbed by the monster. In any case, this giant creature poses a significant threat to national and even global security. General Bill takes this matter very seriously, but he needs to carefully consider the 68-kilogram uranium mass. Not long after they arrive at Bikini Atoll, the three of them, full of anticipation, meet General Bill again, but realize that the plan is not progressing as scheduled. Originally, the 68 kilograms of uranium they needed was directly replaced by General Bill with a nuclear bomb. David approaches General Bill to demand an explanation. General Bill and the higher-ups in the army have a simple idea. Since the enormous creature poses a threat, they should directly eliminate it with a nuclear bomb without risking their lives to obtain samples for further research. At this point, the nuclear bomb has been set up, and General Bill and his team retreat to a safe location, waiting for the creature to take the bait. David mutters that if the monster doesn't appear, they won't be able to secure funding from the military. However, Tracy hopes that the monster doesn't appear. Suddenly, the sonar device on the side malfunctions. Immediately after, roars of a monster can be heard in the distance. Dr. Andrew quickly grabs a video camera and from a distance sees a gigantic spine. Everyone starts speculating if it could be a reappearance of dinosaurs from the Cretaceous period. Godzilla emerges from the sea. It swiftly dashes towards the location of the nuclear bomb. Tracy becomes worried once again. She didn't want to let the monster die without doing any research. Godzilla has been hiding in the ocean all this time. There have never been reports of attacks by unidentified creatures anywhere in the world. After hearing Tracy's suggestion, David provides feedback to General Bill. General Bill tells him that when facing unfamiliar monsters, they must strike first to avoid defeat. There is a signal transmitter nearby. The detonation signal will reach the nuclear bomb in 30 seconds. At that time, the nuclear bomb will undoubtedly deliver a fatal blow to Godzilla. Tracy still feels that the approach is inappropriate. She wants to stop the signal transmitter. David quickly runs over and embraces Tracy when he sees that. He knows that General Bill's orders must not be disobeyed. Such an action by Tracy will only get her arrested and thrown into jail, and General Bill will still detonate that bomb. When the countdown ends, the nuclear bomb detonates as scheduled. The explosion seen on the sea surface is magnificent. The soldiers all cheer and rejoice. They believe Godzilla is undoubtedly dead. Tracy's heart is filled with extreme sadness. The storyline from 1954 comes to an end. The story jumps to 2013. At this time, David is in a place similar to a retirement home for military personnel. In reality, he is under close surveillance by the Monarch Organization. Lisa, Tammy, and Mary come to this place. They inquire about their father's whereabouts from David. David is also excited to see them. He drives away from pursuers and escapes through the back door of this prison-like place. Then, they board a ferry to South Korea to meet one of David's old friends. Here, David finds the videotape that Dr. Andrew threw into the sea. Mary digitizes all the data using computer technology. They only need to open the computer to access the information. For safety reasons, they directly threw the videotape into the sea. The Monarch organization was established in 1940. Initially, they monitored the appearance of monsters worldwide. Now they have started surveilling individuals involved in investigating monsters. David and the others had to take a smuggling route to avoid inspection. However, when they arrived in South Korea, they encountered difficulties at the customs office. They didn't have passports and were escorted to the police station for questioning. David pleaded with the police officers. He hoped to resolve the issues with money. However, the police officers remained unsympathetic. At that moment, a police officer named Rachel approached from the side. He saw David insulting himself. He punched David in the stomach. The other police officers joined in as well. Unexpectedly, the police officers directly put the two police officers into the car. It turns out that Rachel is the old friend David mentioned. Later, they quickly escaped by car to a small airstrip next to the train station. A small twin-engine aluminum plane was parked there. They relied on it to travel thousands of miles to Alaska. David introduced Professor Bernie's story to the children on the plane. When Bernie joined the Monarch organization, David and the others were already retired. The Monarch organization is no longer dedicated to tracking monsters and is only focused on collecting data and reducing budgets. Mary quickly pinpointed a coordinate through something on the previous videotape. That's where Professor Bernie disappeared. They can only find Bernie by going there. After a long day and night of flying, when they were nearing their destination, the plane suddenly experienced abnormalities. The instruments malfunctioned. David quickly took over the pilot's seat. He asked Lisa to find a bottle of water from under the driver's seat and placed it in front of David. Now, they had an improvised attitude indicator. David quickly pulled the gear lever. The plane began a stunt flying performance. The plane shook more and more violently. The others panicked, but David remained calm and quickly chose an excellent spot for an emergency landing. He pulled the lever. The plane touched the ground and glided for a distance before a successful forced landing. Everyone marveled at David's piloting skills. They walked outside to explore the snowy terrain. They quickly found scattered wreckage of another plane. Unfortunately, airplane fragments were scattered everywhere. The front of the plane was blown off directly. Tammy walked up and discovered someone at the pilot's seat. Upon closer inspection, she realized it wasn't her father. Meanwhile, Rachel noticed a tent not far away. However, when he went inside, he found nothing, but the tent was filled with various items. David was puzzled. If the plane didn't make a successful landing, then whose belongings were these? Son, Lisa found a few lines of writing on a map. Those words were written in her father Bernie's handwriting. Their search direction must be correct. However, Rachel noticed something unusual again. Rather than entering the tent, he investigated the scene outside. Based on a rope nailed in the snow, he deduced that the plane should have landed smoothly. But why was the plane torn apart? Soon, Rachel discovered a large claw mark on the plane wreckage. He shouted loudly towards his teammates, urging them to escape quickly. He went to start the plane. While the others were running, the ground started to shake. Rachel quickly put on his headphones and started the plane's engine. The next moment, a colossal creature emerged from the snow. Rachel attempted to attack the monster with the propeller, but was swatted aside by the creature's pump. The others were all terrified. What's even more surprising is that the monster's belly is covered in fleshy bone tendrils. It took a deep breath. To everyone's surprise, it breathes out and instantly freezes the plane in front of it. Unfortunately, Rachel turns into an ice sculpture as a result. It seems that the attack on Professor Bernie's plane must have been caused by this monster. Can the main characters successfully escape Godzilla's attacks? Where did Godzilla exactly come from? What other strange monsters will the main characters encounter? The above is from episode 3 of The Monster Legacy and the Emperor's Plan. Don't miss it, dear viewers who love it. See you in the next episode.